Good morning everyone, it's day 10 of my coaching tip and deal of the day. Another beautiful morning. You'll probably hear all the birds singing in the background. There's a particularly noisy wren in the tree behind, so there he is. So I'll try and overpower him. I'm going to do a summary today and a little bit of the items we've talked about so far in terms of coaching, and then from tomorrow I'm going to start with how we actually set the club away from a static position. As I said before, what makes golf difficult, one of the reasons, is that it's a static ball sport. The tool we're using is static, and we're going to talk about the procedure of how to get that from a static position into a position to where to hit the ball from. So I'll start on that tomorrow. I hope you have received my newsletter with all the bits and pieces in. If you haven't, there's a raffle in there and various other topics, so you can contact me at mikehenningolf@gmail.com and I'll make sure it's forwarded on to you. If there's anything within the newsletter that you'd like to discuss, again, please contact me and I'll get straight back to you as soon as I can. Deal of the day today, I'm just going to focus on Yonex. Yonex is one of our premium brands, and they make the very highest quality graphite shafts, I think, in the business. They are top world leaders in badminton and squash and other sports. And they sell their products at a really reasonable rate. Sort of sits below most other top suppliers out there. I know many of you have bought them over the past months and so on because I've sold them to you. So this is a perfect time to perhaps add in a driver or a fairway or hybrid. We've got lots of them on the list in men's and ladies, and there will be a saving of £40 on ladies and men's Elite 2 drivers and £30 on fairways and hybrids. So if you need to fill in any gaps, perfect time to contact me. I'll put them to one side for you. You can pick them up when we reopen the shop, hopefully in not before too long. So quick summary really of what we've done so far with coaching. We started off with the address position right from early on, and we said that if we put our hands together on a horizontal level, that once we then tilt the right hand down, if we're right-handed of course, then immediately then the right side would tilt down, the eye line would tilt down, and I'm now in a position where I'm what we call underneath the ball. Arms nice and taut at address, try and form a triangle. Imagine there's like a rubber band around your arms and around your torso, so there's no slackness there. Weight even on both feet, even from toe to heel. So there from the front view, I'm ready to go. From the back view, we talked about not sitting down, we talked about bending over from the hips to create a pelvic hollow here, straightens the back. Again, my weight is even from toe to heel. Again, my arms are taut without being too tight. You should be able to see the top of the left arm above the right arm if you're looking back in a mirror. A lot of people stand with their right arm too high, and that tends to then get in the way as they try to take the club away. So here we are now set from both angles. I've purposely left out the grip, which I'll go through another time, although there is a video of the grip on YouTube that I did about a year ago, which is quite expansive, but I'll reiterate some points in a few days' time about the grip as well. We then talked about rotation from the front, and we said that because we have such a wide base, we can move the body in all sorts of wrong positions, and because we're not falling over, it doesn't make it obvious that it's wrong. So I gave you some exercises to help you, or to help your brain, learn to move around an axis. If we were standing on a platform about that diameter, 10 feet off the ground, and we were standing there with a big drop, we'd only have one chance to make that movement absolutely rotational around an axis and balance. One wrong movement and of course we'd fall over. So without being quite that dramatic, feet and knees together, either just practicing or hitting balls or just practicing the movement gives us the same feeling. One-legged work is even more severe, again, because I can't cheat to give me the feeling. And also if you want to stand on a small log, maybe just a few inches off the ground, so if you fall over you won't hurt yourself, that's a really good way of the brain learning the balance very, very quickly. We then talked from this angle that we're bent over, of course, so that our shoulders now should turn around the spine in a perpendicular to that angle, so we shouldn't stand up, we shouldn't tilt down. So hold a club in front of you and we're turning around that, so we maintain the angle of those shoulders around that spine. It's quite a compact position, there's nothing balletic about it, there's nothing soft. We're building up tension to be able to then unleash that on the way down. Okay, so we then discussed in detail the plane of the swing and use the shaft in the ground, and of course yesterday in my watering can to set up a line parallel with the plane line, to give us a reference point. So halfway back my shaft is parallel to my feet, to my target line, and as that tracks up it works parallel to that original plane line. So from that position there, nothing is needed. I can just return that on that plane line. Unless I do something really daft on the way down, I've got a pretty good chance of getting back to where I started. We then talked about there are many top players, of course, who are not on plane, but they've developed ways of rerouting the club, and they do it obviously very, very well. We mentioned two extremes. One where the arm goes out and the club comes in, what we call a bowing action, where we'd have to recover that position. Let's get rid of that for the moment. And we talked about the club going the wrong side of the hands, like a Jim Furyk, and then having to reroute the club to deliver the club from the right angle. So, quick demonstration of a Mr. Furyk. So though that feels most alien to my normal action, and I know he's a lot better than me, if we hit enough golf balls, we've still got a way of delivering that club and trying to find the ball, but it does make life more complicated. And then the opposite, which I mentioned yesterday, Ray Floyd would be a classic example where the club goes out and then comes from a shallow angle. I find that more difficult to reroute the club, but again, if I hit enough balls, it would probably be reasonably consistent. Easier to go through a more correct plane. So again, as I just showed you, I'm on plane here and at the top, so no manipulation needed. And that for me is a lot easier to get back into the back of the ball. May not be the most perfect swing in the world, but that feels a lot more comfortable to me. So there's a reiteration of what we've done hitherto. We did a bit of chipping, which I'll cover again as we go through the classes. Any questions, if you have any specific issues with your own swing which you'd like answered, please contact me at mikehenningolf@gmail.com. And again, my website, www.michaelhenninggolf.com. Go into there, please. There's all sorts of information on there. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and have a great day. Bye.